Located just outside of Washington, D.C., Six Flags America is one of the worst Six Flags parks in the entire chain. With roller coaster picks like Mindy Racer, Firebird, and Roar, it's not hard to see why many coaster enthusiasts steer clear of this deteriorating park. Back in June of 2019, I took my family to Six Flags America for our first visit. I must say that I wasn't impressed, but I didn't consider it to be the dumpster fire everyone was calling it. I went back to the park in September of this year, and within a few short months, the park was in worse condition. Six Flags America needs some serious TLC. Unfortunately, it looks like Six Flags has forgotten this Maryland park, only to throw it a bone every once in a while. The park hasn't seen a brand new roller coaster since 2001 with Batwing, and the two relocated roller coasters are mediocre hand-me-downs at best. Well, in this video, I'll be taking over the sinking ship and will do my best to steer us back to safety. To start things off, as soon as I take ownership, the first thing I'll be doing is sending in the bulldozers. There are a few things around the park that need to get torn down, starting off with that weird fake rock wall and track remains from a previous attraction that is located right near Firebird. Unfortunately, my dozers won't stop there, as I will be announcing that 2020 is the final year of Batwing. Vekoma Flying Dutchmans are a dying coaster model, and I will be sending it to the grave. The ride is constantly breaking down, which is going to cost me more money. Personally, the ride experience isn't that great, so I won't be upset to remove this roller coaster. 2020 overall will be focusing on gutting out the bad and setting up the park for new and exciting expansion. What is great about Six Flags America is the amount of property I get to work with. It's also isolated from the outside world, which is a nice feature. Speaking of bad attractions, even before the start of the 2020 season, Roar will be closed and I will announce the Rmc Conversion, assuming Rmc is able to complete this by 2021. Who knows, I might even consider working with GCI by installing their new hybrid tracks. The year will see 2 roller coasters leaving, but honestly, I think the excitement of a potential Rmc or GCI hybrid on the way will make up for the loss. Right now, the main attraction at Six Flags America isn't a roller coaster, but their water park. When I was visiting the park back in June, the water park was packed. My plan is to invest into this water park, which will in turn bring in more guests, thus creating more revenue to build up the rest of the park. 2020 already has a Zamperla Discovery on the way, but I would also start the process of adding in another water slide for the 2020 season. I want my guests to know that the water park will not take a back seat. 2021 will see the opening of Wild Roar, or what else we want to call it, my new hybrid coaster. I'm hoping that the popularity of this attraction will bring back some guests who haven't visited the park in some time. Six Flags America is strategically located in between 2 huge cities with Washington, D.C. and Baltimore. The audience needed to grow this park is there, and it's time someone start capitalizing on it. The water park will receive yet another expansion. Again, this is the park's biggest draw, so of course I'm going to continue investing in this area. The rest of the park will receive a bunch of upgrades. Pretty much the focus of my first 2 years will be to tidy up the place, make it look more presentable. Plant some trees or grass, improve the foliage, cover up what I can see of the backstage area so it's hidden from my guests in the park. At the end of the year, another roller coaster is going to go under the knife, and that's Firebird. This is an original B&M roller coaster, and I think it should be saved if possible. My idea is to have B&M come back and fix up some of the bad sections of the ride. That way this roller coaster can be enjoyed for future generations. The ride fits nicely into the plot of land that it currently is on, so I have no problem leaving this coaster there if it can be spruced up. 2022, I start working on the overall flow of the park. If you've been to Six Flags America, you would know how badly laid out the park is. There are a lot of dead ends, confusing paths. This needs to be remedied. The area over by Wild One and Raging Cajun can be somewhat confusing, so I think maybe moving a couple of the flat rides in this area and placing them in the back of the park near Joker and Superman will help with the issue. At the end of the year is when construction starts on the biggest addition to the park. First, Mindy Racer will be torn down. The water park will be expanding down into the section of this park, and 2023 will bring in a new water coaster. You will now be able to enter and exit the water park near the park entrance and now over where Mindy Racer was. A huge pathway will be created to connect from where Batwing was all the way down to Coyote Creek. This pathway will now make the park a complete circle, and will now open up my new section of the park. For now, I will call it a nature trail. You'll be able to walk underneath Superman. A branch will shoot out over to Whistle Stop Park, allowing even more access for guests traversing the park. With Mind Eraser gone and our new water coaster in place, all construction will be focused on our future expansion. My big announcement will be an opening of a new multi-launching roller coaster by Mack Rides. This roller coaster is going to interact with Renegade Rapids, Wild Roar, and Superman. Six Flags America is really missing a good launch coaster, something that will really pull this park together. I know they currently have Joker, but they will be quite different from each other since Joker is a spaghetti bowl layout and my new coaster is very spread out. 2024 will be my biggest expansion yet with this new multi-launch roller coaster. By this time, the Waterpark will be in fantastic shape. All the problematic roller coasters will be completely gone and/or enhanced. Six Flags America will now be a force to be reckoned with. The park will now be a complete circuit, so no more dead ends. By this time during my ownership, I will start to focus more on the overall theming and atmosphere of the park. If possible, Whistle Stop Park will be transformed back into Thomastown. My park won't be a theme park, it's still an amusement park at heart, but I think the scenery could use some improvement. The action doesn't stop in 2024. Hopefully by now my water park will be a huge hit with the locals, and with an RMC and multi-launching Mack coaster in my arsenal, I think Six Flags America will be bringing in the guests. 2024, 2025, and 2026 will see new roller coasters of various sizes. 2025 edition will be a new wooden coaster that will go where Batwing was located. I'm happy with either GCI or Gravity Group for this project, so I guess whoever gives me the better pitch. I don't want this roller coaster to be completely insane, more like a family coaster because 2026 is going to be another huge year. But before we jump over onto 2026, I still have one more thing in store for 2025. The water park will receive another expansion, a new water slide complex, and splash pad. Okay, 2026, the big year. If my park is really showing improvement and the numbers are up, I hope to build a new Giga Coaster by B&M. The roller coaster will run in between the current Gotham City Section Railroad and the picnic area. It will shoot all the way down past Superman and over to my new wooden roller coaster. If Busch Gardens never moves forward with their Giga, I think Six Flags America would be a prime location because of the amount of land to work with. To recap everything, 2020, Batwing will be demoed in a new water slide. 2021 is the Rmc Conversion of Roar and another new water slide. 2022 will be a pathway connecting from Mind Eraser, Whistle Stop Park, and the back of the park. Mind Eraser gets demoed, Firebird reopens with a new track. 2023 new water coaster and additional water park entrance near Renegade Rapids. 2024 multi-launch roller coaster by Mack Rides. 2025 family roller coaster by Gravity Group or GCI, new water slide complex with splash pad. 2026 record-breaking Giga Coaster by B&M. That was my outline if I took ownership of Six Flags America. This is a park that could be so much better than what it currently is. I think with the right management and financial backings, this could become a park that contends with King's Dominion, Busch Gardens, and Hershey Park. I tried to keep my plans to a more realistic approach. I think the key to making Six Flags America really shine is by starting with the water park, then tackling the rest of the park. You always want to put your best asset up front and center. Well, thank you for watching today's video. Let me know what you would do if you became the owner of Six Flags America. As always, please subscribe so you don't miss out on more great content coming your way by XscreamThrills.